How much betrayal can a human heart endure? And what happens when justice begins where the legal system ends? In 1815, a ship docking at the port of Marseille brought more than just wealth. Inside was Edmond Dantès, a young and honest sailor preparing for the happiest day of his life. He was about to embrace everything life had to offer, a well-deserved captaincy and his beautiful fiancée, Mercède. But a person's brightest moment is often what blinds their enemies the most. Edmond was about to fall into the center of a conspiracy he knew nothing about. The jealousy of those he called friends would condemn him to the darkest, coldest, and most inescapable dungeon in history, the Château d'If. For 14 long years, he was erased from the world and presumed dead. Yet, the real story did not end in that dungeon. It began there. Because darkness does not always destroy a victim, sometimes it transforms them into a terrifying machine of vengeance. Today, we will tell you the unseen truths behind history's greatest tale of revenge, a story of a man who dealt out justice with his own hands like a divine punishment. Welcome to Unseen Real. If you are ready, we are descending into the dark world of the Count of Monte Cristo. When Edmond Dantès returned to Marseille on the merchant ship Pharaon, he expected only one thing from the future: peace. The ship's captain had died during the voyage, and the shipowner, Monsieur Morel, had given this position to young Edmond. He was on the verge of marrying his beloved Mercède. However, Edmond's happiness fueled the hatred of 3 different people. Fernand Mondego, who was madly in love with Mercède and saw Edmond as his ultimate obstacle. Danglars, an ambitious accountant who could not stomach Edmond becoming captain, and Gérard de Villefort, a selfish deputy prosecutor forced to protect his own political career. Danglars and Fernand wrote a slanderous anonymous letter framing Edmond as a Bonapartist agent. On his wedding day, Edmond was handcuffed and brought before prosecutor Villefort. In truth, Villefort realized Edmond was innocent. However, the secret letter Edmond carried was addressed to Villefort's own father. If it were revealed that his father was a Napoleonic agent, Villefort's career would be ruined. Villefort sacrificed an innocent young man to save his own future. Without even a trial, Edmond Dantès was imprisoned in the Château d'If, a fortress surrounded by treacherous waves where political prisoners were buried alive. Within the damp walls of the Château d'If, Edmond rotted for years without knowing why he was there. Just as he was about to lose his sanity, a scratching sound from the neighboring cell changed his life. This sound belonged to Abbé Faria, an Italian priest digging a tunnel to escape. Faria became more than just a companion to Edmond. He became his savior. He taught him languages, history, science, and the depths of human psychology. He decoded the betrayal committed against Edmond, showing him exactly who his enemies were. He killed the innocent sailor inside Edmond and built an intellectual genius in his place. Most importantly, before Faria died, he gave Edmond the map to an unimaginably vast treasure hidden on the island of Monte Cristo. When the priest passed away, Edmond climbed inside the body bag himself. The guards, believing Edmond was dead, tied a heavy weight to his feet and cast him into the depths of the sea in the dead of night. Edmond ripped the bag open with his knife and surfaced. His 14-year captivity was over. Edmond Dantès was dead. Someone else was being born. Edmond found the colossal treasure on the island. He was now the richest, most knowledgeable, and most mysterious man in the world. He created a new identity for himself, the Count of Monte Cristo. When he returned to Marseille, he examined the world he had left behind. The only man who had remained loyal to him, the shipowner Monsieur Morel, was on the brink of bankruptcy. The Count secretly paid off Morel's debts, saving him from suicide and giving him a future. He had completed the rewarding side of justice. Now it was time for punishment. When he entered Parisian high society, he saw that all his old enemies had reached the absolute peak of success. Fernand had become a war hero, gained the title of Count, and married Mercède. Danglars had become the richest banker in France. Villefort was now the country's most powerful chief prosecutor. The Count did not rush. Killing them physically was too easy. He would slowly strip his enemies of their souls, their reputations, and everything they owned. He would strike them through their own ambitions, secrets, and sins. The Count made his moves like a master chess player. He exposed the dark secrets inside Villefort's house, including a past attempt to murder an illegitimate child. He orchestrated events so that Villefort's wife began poisoning the members of the household. After losing his entire family, Villefort lost his sanity. Next, the Count exposed that Fernand had betrayed a Greek pasha in the past, selling his wife and daughter into slavery. Fernand's son, Albert, challenged the Count to a duel, but Mercedes intervened and begged the Count for mercy. Mercedes was the only one who realized the Count was actually Edmond. Upon learning the truth, his family abandoned Fernand, and Fernand committed suicide in utter loneliness. Finally, he targeted the money-worshipping danglers. Using fake stock market news, the Count financially manipulated danglers, driving him into complete bankruptcy and taming him through starvation. When it was all over, the Count had destroyed his enemies. However, he realized that innocent people had also suffered in the process. He felt the heavy toll on his soul for trying to play God and dispense divine justice entirely on his own. At the end of the novel, as he sailed toward the horizon with his loyal love Haydée, he wrote this historic letter to the friends he left behind.
How much betrayal
All human
can a
wisdom
human
is
heart
contained
endure?
in these two words.
And what happens
wait
when
and
justice
hope.
begins?
What about you?
Where the legal system
If you were
ends?
in Edmond Dantès'
In
shoes,
1815,
would you punish the
a
people
ship
who stole
docking at the
14
port of
years of your
Marseille
life with a single
brought
bullet,
more than
or
just
would you
wealth.
choose a flawless,
Inside was
cold, and
Edmond
ruthless
Dantès,
plan
a
spanning 2
young and
decades like
honest
the Count of
sailor
Monte
preparing
Cristo?
for the happiest day
Which
of
is
his
more
life.
just? Share
He
your
was
thoughts
about
with us
to
in the
embrace
comments.
everything
We will
life
continue
had
to
to offer.
uncover the unseen
A
realities behind the
well-deserved
stories
captaincy
on
and his
Unseen
beautiful
Real.
fiancée,
Don't forget to like the
Mercedes.
video and subscribe
But
to
a
our channel.
person's brightest
See you in the
moment
next
is
dark
often
file.
what